Hi, I'm Rick Hamlin here at Guideposts with our guest, Rosanne Cash. She's here to talk about her new album, The List. Welcome, Rosanne. How did you come up with The List?
Well, I didn't actually come up with the list. The list was given to me by my father when I was 18 years old. I was on the road with him, and we were rolling through the South on a tour bus and talking about songs, and he mentioned a song, and I said, I don't know that one. And he mentioned another one. I said, I don't know that one either, Dad. And he became alarmed that I was so steeped in rock and pop music at that time that I didn't know what essentially was my musical genealogy, the songs that had informed him as an artist. And
what songs were they?
Well, there's 100 of them. He spent the rest of that afternoon making a list for me, and he was very thoughtful about it, and he called it 100 Essential Country Songs. And he gave me this list, and I kept it for 35 years.
Did you immediately start learning these songs?
I did, and then a lot of them went in. A lot of them I knew already. Some of them were obvious. He had a very deep and intuitive understanding of every critical junction in American music, from Southern gospel, Delta blues, early folk songs, Appalachian, modern country in 1973. So it was a very comprehensive list, and some of them I did know. The others I started soaking up and learning, and it became a template for me as well, and I had the good sense to hang on to the list for 35 years.
What inspired you to go back to the list?
Well, I spent the last 35 years as a songwriter, and that's really what I wanted to do with my life, to be a writer. Being a performer was incidental to being a songwriter to me. And, in the beginning, of course, I had a chip on my shoulder. I'm going to do this by myself, carve my own life out away from my parents, like any young person does. And at this point in my life, it's a little unseemly to keep carrying the chip. My parents are gone. I want to claim that legacy fully, part of which is embodied by the list. And I wanted to sing these songs. For 17 years, my husband, John Leventhal, who's my producer, has been saying, your voice is so well suited to sing these songs, these classic country songs. I said, no, I'm a songwriter. It turns out I am really suited to sing these songs. And it was a joy and an honor.
How did you go back and attack the list? I mean, it's huge, 100 songs.
Some of them were clear that I couldn't do them, either because they were so gender specific that it didn't make sense to try to switch it, or because they were essential to the point of being cliched. I didn't feel I could do another version of This Land Is Your Land. Some of them I tried and didn't suit my voice. And then the others were just really clear. From the very beginning, I knew I wanted to do Long Black Veil. I knew there was going to be a Carter Family song on it. It turned out to be Bury Me Under the Weeping Willow. And then some of them, and Silver Wings, Merle Haggard's Silver Wings, I knew I was going to do that. So it was an intuitive vetting process, I think.
Yeah. And you've got 12 of them on the album?
12 on the album, and then 2 kind of as bonus tracks, one on iTunes and one through Barnes & Noble. So really 14 songs.
Yeah. Your father was an inspiring figure. Was he inspiring to you?
Of course he was inspiring to me, deeply inspiring. But for things that people may not realize, his work ethic was very inspiring to me. He had a tremendous work ethic, so professional. He wasn't late. He didn't, when he was on drugs, he would skip shows sometimes, but, basically his work ethic was pristine. His personal integrity, he didn't lie for expediency or to be charming. His truthfulness was central to who he was. His sense of spirituality being outside of religion, almost a mystical sense of spirituality. Those things about him. And also, he didn't give advice unless you asked for it, which is a beautiful way to parent.
What a gift.
Yeah. So those things were very inspiring for me and still inspire me.
Do you share some of that spirituality?
I do. I feel a connection to something greater than myself. It's not channeled through traditional religion, but I look at music and art and my children. I think, well, there's got to be something bigger than me at play here.
Is that true in the list too, in some of the spiritual context?
Absolutely. You know, my dad was tremendously inspired by Southern gospel and loved that lexicon so much. Sister Rosetta Tharpe he always said was his favorite singer. And so we have Motherless Children on this record, which is a great old Delta blues gospel song.
Yeah, yeah.
Not traditionally gospel, but from that tradition.
Yeah. Do you feel that spirituality when you sing?
I feel something when I sing sometimes that is like connecting into a light socket.
Wow.
And that is God to me.
Yeah.